This is the best. Okay, we're live, guys.
Woo!
Hello.
Exciting. I've never done a live hangout before.
Week four.
Let's get some viewers here.
We
We
need
need some viewers. How do we know?
Yeah, how do we know?
We'll be able to see it.
Oh, Q&A. I see it. Okay, I see Q&A. Okay.
See the group chat?
Can we, oh.
What?
Oh.
Chat.
Wait,
Chat.
I don't see anything. Mine says the requested URL was not found on the server.
Click chat at the top. Chat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's the chat function.
All right.
Where? I don't see it.
Top Kelly Ski.
I'm gonna-
Oh, I got it. I wonder if anybody's on here.
Not yet. Looks like it's just us.
Oh,
Wait, guys, who's the Wax Slinger's Guide to Leadership? Is that
That's
Jenny?
it.
Actually, Amber is logged in as that right now.
Oh.
Okay, I'm about to post the link here to Wax Slingers.
Okay.
Oh, that's why we don't have viewers. The link's not posted, y'all. Just us.
Just us.
just us.
Jordan.
What?
Oh, she said Jordan.
He keeps turning off the lights.
Like what? Hey, Amber,
Just gonna
Yeah.
bounce. Just gonna
Are you-
bounce.
in the bottom right hand corner, you see the links.
Yep.
When you click on that, what does that say?
It gives me the links.
Which ones?
It says video embedded, and then it says a YouTube link. You want the video embedded?
Yeah,
You want me to post this?
should be because since you're logged in as the admin.
Okay, so you want me to post it in the group?
Yeah, try it.
Press shizzle.
Chris,
How did I get logged in as the admin?
Huh?
Where'd you get your shirt? I think I have the same one.
Catalog connection?
Nope. Not the same.
No, I didn't get where. I don't remember.
I got mine from a store called Impeccable Pig. It started over. Nope.
Oh, maybe it was an online boutique. No, I didn't get where. I don't remember.
What?
Who is that?
You.
That was me?
Yep. From a store called Impeccable Pig.
What just happened?
I don't know.
Okay, Amber, I have the link. I can post it.
Maggie's
Oh, I just
face.
posted it.
Okay, I think it's the one.
Okay, good. Okay, quit laughing at me, girl.
I don't understand what's happening.
We're waiting on viewers.
No.
Nobody wants to see us. Oh, look at that baby.
Amber, put Jordan back on and entertain us.
Oh, there's my girl Erin. She's on.
Hey.
Got viewers.
What is that? Oh, it's Erin.
Yeah.
I'm like, who is that? We don't know that picture.
I don't know how to change it.
Look at Jen's face right now.
I know. She's like, what's going on?
Jen's trying to figure out if this is gonna work. I can see.
She's got
She's
the
contemplating what she's gonna have for dinner.
on her above her head.
Jennifer, that food today was so good.
Hallie, I miss you so much. And you know what? Someone asked me for a photo of something, and I found from where were we? Like Miami or something, where we snuck off for breakfast that one morning. Remember?
Yes.
Before the cruise, I found that
Best
picture.
biscuits ever.
It was so cute. It was so cute.
You found that picture of us?
Yeah.
Couldn't have been better than Biscuit Love.
It was. I mean, it wasn't
wasn't.
Biscuit Love, but what did I even have? Huevos rancheros, I think, and it was
Yeah, I had biscuits.
pretty amazing. Oh, we have 5. We have 6 viewers. Yay! Look at all the viewers. Okay, Erin, I think that you have clicked the wrong link. So go back into Wax Slinger's Guide to
Did I
Leadership.
post the wrong damn link? I'm about to delete that.
Got it. Go into Wax Slinger's Guide to Leadership, and I posted the correct link for you to join, so that way you can participate in the group chat. Yeah,
Okay, I'm about to delete my link.
already did. It's good.
Oh, okay. Never leave me in charge of these kinds of things.
Hi, viewers.
Kelly Sweet is here.
Jen, you did not delete the link.
We did. It's just not refreshing on everybody's screen. That's all.
Oh.
Oh, Christ.
This is what happens when we go live, y'all.
This is
That's awesome.
Real life, dude.
It's good.
This is confessions of some Scentsy boss babes right here.
Boss is gonna boss.
Boss
Hi,
is
viewers.
gonna boss.
If you are viewing us, hi, welcome. Up
Comment. Send us a
upper
comment.
left-hand corner, there's a blue box. You can click on that. It'll show you the. Hi, Jamie and Kelly. I think you guys have clicked the wrong link, so make sure you go back to Wax Slinger's Guide.
Jamie, get out of here.
Oh, dang it. See you, though. So cute. Okay, so if you're joining us, open up your chat box. It's on the upper left-hand corner of your screen. You can click that box, and it'll give you the option to chat. So introduce yourself. We have 9 viewers. Who's here?
And waiting. And
It's kind
waiting.
of creepy that people can see us and we can't see them.
I know.
Maybe everyone's being shy tonight. If that's the case, we'll just have to start talking.
Yep, let's roll.
They don't want to hear our conversations.
Kristen, you're up first, boo. I'm going to mute myself.
No, we can't start until we have at least 10.
We have 10.
Where do you see this?
Don't worry about it. You just do your thing.
Actually, we have 11, 12.
Where? Can only Amber see it?
Nope, it's on the bottom corner.
Bottom corner. I don't see it.
Kelly, if you look on the top left-hand side of your screen, you should see a little blue chat box. If you click
Yeah, I see that.
chat box, you
I
can.
can chat, but I don't see how many people there is.
The bottom right, it'll say.
My head is covering it. Move. Bottom right. Nope.
All right, let's get rolling, guys. So we're going to kick off week 4 here. Kristen Ingalls is going to kick us off. Rockstar.
Hey! All right, y'all ready for this? No. I'm just kidding. All right, so week 4. So we are going to talk about leadership, mentoring, all that tonight. And I'm really excited that we're live because I know you guys will have some awesome questions and we're excited to be able to answer you. Oh, what's going on? You guys see what I see right now? There's somebody. I can't hear you, Jen. I don't know what's going on.
You're good.
Am I still good? Oh, somebody's face is right here.
You're good. It's your face.
No, at the bottom. Okay. I'll just keep going. Okay, so my topic tonight is going to be leadership starts at 1. And what that means is that the second you sponsor anybody, you are going to be their person. You are going to be their mentor. So the second you sponsor somebody, you are already a leader. You are already a mentor. And it's super important to do a lot of things right when you first sponsor somebody. And I'm going to go over that stuff with you. So number 1, when you recruit someone, there's a couple things that you really need to know about this person to get going. Number 1, who are they? What are they about? Why did they join Scentsy? What kinds of things do they like? It's really important to get to know the people that you recruit. Also, what gets them motivated? For me, Jenny from the block knows, and so does Chloe, I really like prizes. Prizes really motivate me. I'm not a recognition kind of person. I am a little bit, but more so I really like prizes. And that is because I didn't go back to nursing school till I was 26. So I didn't graduate from nursing school till I was 30. And I had 2 kids at the time who were crazy and wild. And my husband, when I was in nursing school, would come home with like a highlighter or something really small. And it just, like, it meant so much that he thought of me, and that really helped me get through nursing school, was just little stuff he would do here and there and things that he would get me. So I always have been about prizes. I love prizes. It's what motivates me. So you definitely want to get to know your recruits, know what they're about, know about their family, their lifestyle. Also, too, me and Jen talked about this a while back, is know about their love language. Know, how they like to get recognized. Like I said, I like prizes. It might be recognition for them. It might be acts of service. Whatever it is, know, what kind of style they have. The other thing too, so I've been talking to Chloe about this a lot lately, and I think it's super important. We need to make sure that we are training our people the right way. It starts from day 1, and for me, what I do with my people, I recruit a lot of people who are out of town. I trained 2 tonight before I got on this call, and I had to FaceTime them, and that's completely fine. You have to make sure that you're training your people. You can't just recruit people and then send them out to the wolves and not do anything. You've got to make sure that you're talking to them, you're going over the workstation, you're helping them open their first party. These are things that are super important. So it's not your job to manage everything, but you have to manage your recruits. You have to train them when they first start. You definitely want to try to do it within the first 48 hours of recruiting them. That way they can get off to a good start. Definitely make sure they know about the shooting star. They know about sensational start level. There's so many people, even on my team page, who are like, have no idea what sensational start level is, have no idea at all. So make sure you're telling your people about that. Another thing too, a lot of people are joining now, they have no idea that we're in incentive season. They need to know about the trip that's on the line. They need to know as much information as they can. And also, they also need to know to utilize the training center, of course, too. And I think a lot of people don't even know about that, which is so scary, but make sure that they're really utilizing that also. Let's see. The main things when I train my people, I of course make sure that they know how to open their order. They know about the free and half price stuff, and they for sure know about the perpetual party reward. There are so many people that close parties forever and don't even realize that there's an extra half price item. So make sure you're going over that with them. And of course the training center. If they have a launch party and you're local, try to go to it. It really will show somebody, that you really care about them. You're not just recruiting people to recruit people for you, but it's really there to help them also. And definitely train them how you want to be trained. It doesn't matter who you join under and how they trained you. That is over and done with at this point. What matters is how you train them. It starts with you. So make sure that you're training them right. That way they can train their people right. In the chapters that we had for this week, he talked a lot about how you're going to train somebody to take your job. And that's so true, because you want somebody to take over and run with it. That's the goal in Scentsy, is to train people so that they can become bosses also like you. And so you want to train them to do that. And it's totally about connection. I try to make connection with all my leaders. I'm, involved in their lives. I know what they're doing. You can't just recruit people and let them fly. You've got to be there for them. Let's see, what else? Okay, another thing too is that when you recruit people, and even for you now, you might have a couple people under you and you still don't have a team page. I think it's super important to go ahead and open up a team page if you have maybe 5 to 10 people already. You want to establish your leadership style early so that you can go ahead and start doing that with them so they feel like you're their leader. That's super important. And another thing too is that we as leaders, you guys are all on here because you're leaders, you're star consultants or above. And it's super important to, sorry, what was I going to say? Oh, to not say, like, for so long, I did mainly basket parties. I didn't do a whole lot of home parties. I didn't do a whole lot of online parties. And I was really putting myself in a box. We need to make sure that we do not say, I don't do home parties, I don't do events, I don't do this. As a leader, you have to be very well-rounded. Don't tell them that you don't do those things, because that shouldn't be true. You should be able to throw yourself into any situation and fly with it. So make sure that you're not telling your people that. Always try to, and even, you know what, maybe you haven't done a lot of events. I haven't done a lot of events, but I know my mom does a lot. So there's people who ask questions to me and I'm like, you know what, let me hook you up with my mom. She's awesome at events. She can probably have some great tips for you. So just because you don't do them doesn't mean you can't find the resources that they need. Let's see. So really the main thing with mine was leadership starts with one. So the first time you recruit somebody, which of course you've already recruited people, just make sure that you're training them correctly and that they know what they need to succeed. That's the biggest thing. And also too, that you're putting a mindset on them that recruiting is definitely important, because it totally is. It's not just about sales in this business. If you want to get far, you've got to recruit. So make sure that they have that mindset also. So that's it. I'm done. Who's up next?
Kristen, someone has a question for you.
Oh, where? I don't see it.
I can read it to you. It's on our Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Jennifer Monarch is asking you, how do you find balance between hand-holding and spoon-feeding, but empowering your recruits to find the right answers?
Okay, so what I do, Chloe is doing this. Hi! It's super important when people ask you questions that instead of telling them what the answer is, showing them where to find it. So what I do is I tell them where to find it, and then they go and look for it. And sometimes I even tell them, this is where you find it. Like, follow back up with me and let me know what you found. That way I know that they didn't just get pissed off because I didn't tell them where it was or didn't tell them the exact answer, but I know that they're actually seeking information on their own. Because it is so important in this business to let them kind of go so that they can lead. Because that, like I said before, that is really our main focus, is that we want them to become leaders also. That way we can keep building more leaders, keep building more boss babes, so that eventually we have this team of boss babes, literally. So you have to be really careful. I know it's hard because, and I know for me, I'm totally a people pleaser. I want everyone to be happy all the time, but you've got to eventually let them fly. Definitely make sure that they know what they need to succeed, and then let them go. And definitely follow up with them, of course, every so often. Make sure they're still doing okay. I always tell people, I'm like, I'm your person. If you need me, I'm here. But also teaching people to utilize a team page. I think that's huge too. Because, you know, like, I'm a night shift person, and I always tell my people, if you can't get up with me during the day, please make sure that you try to contact somebody on the team page. Don't just get frustrated and not do anything about it. So make sure that people are really utilizing your team page. That's why they have them. That's why they're there. So yeah, that's it.
And we have one more question for Kristen. Erin said, how do you figure out what their love language is? I have some that are motivated by prizes, and that's pretty obvious, but I'm not so sure about all of my team. How does that conversation go?
Okay, so I actually don't really have a clue. Oh yeah, well, okay, so Chloe said the book. There obviously is a love language book, and me and Jen talked about doing, like when our people promote to director, having them take the quiz. That might actually be a fun challenge to do on your team page, is have them take the quiz. That way you can kind of know, and maybe you could keep it in like some kind of notebook with their name and their love language. That way you can connect with them better too. So, and you can actually get that quiz online. So you can always copy and paste it on your team page, have them tell you their answers, and then you'll know what their love language is. So I think that actually would be a really fun team challenge to do. Good? Who's next?
I'm up. Can you hear me? Okay. Well, my topic tonight is actually the favorite topic I have in the whole wide world, which is recognition. I love recognition because I strive off of it. And, you know, it's like one of them things that you had or you didn't have as a child and you crave it maybe. Like I always wanted my mom or my dad to come to like my games or stuff like that. And then because they weren't there saying, Kelly, you did a really good job, it really pissed me off as an adult, and I took it into my adulthood. So it was always that thing too that I wanted from my bosses, or even Sensi, my superstar director, stuff like that. And so when you don't get that, you, like me personally, I crave it and I constantly want it. So I give that to my team. And what I noticed when I started out as just a little single consultant, as I started to grow my team, I started giving that to them. And as the times have changed and my team has grown bigger, I have learned a lot from what I was taught, just from going to leadership trainings and stuff like that. When I started going to the dollar store, and I would pick out little things. You know, they're obviously $1, so they're not too expensive. And I would get super creative with them. I would get like pom-poms, and I would say, I'm your biggest cheerleader. I would get like a glass from the dollar store. It had like celebratory stuff on it. And I would put like a bottle of wine, in little wines, you get 4 of them for like $5 or something like that. Put that in there and give it to them. And then as my team grew, the advice that I was given in my leadership trainings was do something that you can do for a lot of people, because eventually one day your group is going to be so large that you're not going to be able to do this. And I didn't believe anybody. So I threw that out the window and I was doing whatever I wanted. And I was giving out glasses and little cute recruiting things and just little stuff like that, which I can still do. I tend to focus a little bit more on my own individual team versus my group. But I did want to touch on that too, that it is important because you have your team and then you have your group. And it's important not to lose focus of the group, because you know what, someday they may lose their sponsor and come right to you anyways. Or you might be their director, but you might not be. They might have their own director, but their own director could suck, because let's face it, we are all not blessed with amazing directors. So I will work and give maybe some better incentives and ideas for my own personal team, that where I'm their direct director. And then my group, I do little stuff like postcards and Facebook shout outs, recognition that way, because I think that's just as important. Jennifer Anderson came out with an amazing idea when she did the top 16, which I think we've all stolen. But I love that idea because it's a way to get people noticed, get people drawn in, because there's people and there's these creatures out in Facebook world that want the recognition. And so they might see that on somebody else's page that you're tagging, and it might give them an idea like, oh my God, I can get recognition from here. Maybe I should join this team, because I joined Mary Kay 5 years ago and I never heard from my director, or I never heard the good job. So, I mean, we might think it's something so simple and it takes like 10 seconds out of our day to go say, hey, way to go, or way to bless somebody's life on recruiting last month, or way to go on your top 16, or, you know, whatever it is. It really could take like 5 to 10 minutes to go through a couple different people and make them feel appreciated, because it's going to go a long way and it's going to get noticed by so many other people. But to stress the importance of the group too. So another little thing I do is postcards. Postcards are cheap, inexpensive. You can hit up Vistaprint for 40 or 50% off sales. I pre-make my postcards way ahead of time and before the sale starts, and I kind of wait and pray on the sale. Once that sale comes, I'm like, bam, 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 I'm ordering out these. I'm getting them all 50% off, and I always switch it up. And the good thing about that is you can always go back and reorder them. So I always have those ready to go. What is another thing that I was thinking? Prizes, ideas, recognition. I think that's about it. I think that's it for me. Recognition. Just make sure that you're doing it. Bye. I see Kristen.
All right, y'all. I think I'm up next. I think I was number 3, so I'm going to just roll with it. Jordy's with me, so I apologize if he gets to acting crazy because it's only 3:30 here and it's just me and him. But today I just wanted to talk to you guys about something a little bit different, and it's kind of piggybacking off of what Kristen was talking about, you know, training up your people and leading them, you know, leading by example and starting from day one early on. And getting them set up and getting them going to running their business. But I'm going to take that a little bit further, because when you have somebody that comes on your team and, you know, you take the time, you train them up, eventually to build a leader, you have to start taking on that leadership role. Hence why we're all in this program, right? Because we want to know how to build leaders. We want to know how to make leaders. We want to know how to become a better leader. And I really feel like one of the things that stood out to me is personal development. And I chose this topic because people would always tell me, like, you need to take time, you need to better yourself, you need to, you know, figure out how to become a leader, because it's not something that we're not all born leaders. We're not all natural born leaders, right? It takes skill, it takes time, it takes development. And I never really took personal development seriously. And I do now, and it definitely has helped in my business, not only to help me how to become a better leader, because let's face it, when we come into this business, we don't necessarily know all of the answers. It's a constant learning experience. You will never, ever have the answers to everything, right? So you have to constantly, Jordy, honey, mommy's talking. You have to constantly better yourself and get familiar with things and doing things and how to lead a team of people, because I never guessed 3 years into this thing I would have a team of 140 people. I mean, some of, like, Jen and Chloe and Kristen have, and Kelly have teams of over 200, 600 people. I can't even imagine. So that takes some skill, right? That's going to take some time into becoming a leader. So, like, just the book Beach Money itself, things like that, this program is considered personal development, right? But what does that look like? I always say, you guys always hear the saying, like, never be the smartest person in the room, right? And that, to me, that holds true, like, wherever I go. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I want to be a sponge and absorb information, because I know that there's a better way or another way that I could be doing things. We all do things differently. We all run our businesses differently. And in order to figure that out, that's going to require us to seek and find what works for us and what works for our businesses. So I wanted to share with you guys some of my favorite personal development books that have helped me, and, like, maybe in turn it will help you. But always constantly be learning, you guys, constantly be growing in your businesses. And I always say, pick a book and take a month, if it takes you that long or whatever, even if it takes longer, pick a new book every single month that gets you engaged in your business, and find out what your weakness is. Like, I know a lot of people struggle with recruiting. So if that's where your struggle is, find books or a program. There's tons of stuff online. I know Mary Christensen has a book, How to Become a Recruiting Superstar. Start with where your weaknesses are, and then build up. Recruiting has never been an issue for me. For me, it was leadership, how to run a team, how to build a team, and how to become an influence. So one of my favorite books I wanted to share with you guys is a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. How do you become an influence in your community with your friends and your family and with people, right? Because ultimately we need people to build and grow our businesses. So that's a book by Dale Carnegie that I really like. Obviously, we're reading Beach Money. That's a great book. The 4-Hour Weekend is another book of mine that I really like. If you guys have ever heard of John C. Maxwell, he's another great personal development author that has a plethora of books that will help in personal development. And then what Kristen was saying, and Chloe, the 5 Love Languages, that is an awesome book. If you have never, ever read that book, I encourage you to go out and read it, because not only will it help you, it'll help your personal relationships with your spouse or significant other, and help with relationships with your team. Because, you know, when you talk about recruiting with people, you know, some people recruit people just to put numbers on your team, but if you're not building relationships with people, 9 times out of 10, this isn't going to be they're not going to be a lasting product on your team. They're not going to be somebody who's going to produce. You need to get to know people on your team and form that relationship. And personal development is a great way to help you do that. So as you guys finish up on this journey in the Wax Slinger's Guide to Leadership, remember to continue on and never stop learning and growing and learning how to build your business and build a team and become that leader that you want to be, because that's going to train you to make your business duplicatable. Is that a word? I don't know, whatever. It'll help you make your business duplicatable, in which turn that you will build up leaders, and that will bring you to the top, like our wonderful superstar directors on this training, Jen and Chloe. I'm just kidding. So I'm gonna end there, but make sure you just keep on with your personal development. Don't slip off on that. And I'm gonna go get my child because he's sitting over there. I can see him in the mirror and I have no idea what he's doing. So I hope you guys enjoyed these 4 weeks. It's been a pleasure working with you guys and watching you guys grow. And whoever is up next, it's all you.
My turn. That was so good, Amber. Like, I think a lot of times when we're talking about leadership and leading, and we've talked about so much, how do we do this with our team and how do we help this and do this, and we totally forget that personal development piece. And it's probably the most important thing you can do to be a good leader, is to develop yourself personally. Make sure that you are whole, make sure that you are the best you can be. So that was really, really great, Amber. And that book, by the way, that book is a classic. That book is absolutely incredible. I also recommend that book. Really good. How to Win Friends and Influence People. So I am talking tonight about building relationships and genuinely connecting with your downline. So when I first started my business, I didn't really want to build a team, and I went several months without any recruits because I wasn't interested in that. And then I did this log home show, my first event ever, right? I did this event, I came home, and 5 people joined my team. And I didn't ask anybody. I didn't ask anyone to join my team. I didn't talk about it because I just wanted to sell some Scentsy and make some money. So all these people joined my team, and I was like, what the heck? So I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning of my Scentsy career, and a lot of things that I wish I could have done differently. And I would say that the relationship and building relationships piece of my business was missing for a long time. And I didn't understand it until I went to a leadership. And as a side note, I'm going to plug leadership in New York City this year, right now. You need to go. If you're not a director yet, you need to push hard to get to director ASAP so you can go to leadership, because it is hands down my favorite event that we do with Scentsy. There's something about connecting with peers, and when you go to leadership, you're surrounded with the top people in the company. You're surrounded by all the amazing leaders, and you get to soak all that in. And it's NYC and Broadway and shopping and all that other really amazing fun stuff. So definitely go. It's totally worth it, okay? But I went to a leadership retreat, and I want to say it was my first one ever, and there was all this talk about relationships and caring about other people, and I was like, what? I didn't even know that was a part of my business, because I was just trying to make some money. I was just trying to recruit, like Amber said, to grow by numbers and have bigger. I had no idea that any of this even existed. And I went to a class, one of the breakouts at leadership, and they had us take this quiz. And if any of you are in my downline, you know that I'm a pretty tough cookie. And if you're not in my downline, I'm just a black and white kind of person. I'm not super mushy gushy, and I'm just black and white. That's how it is. But so I took this quiz, and it was all about being caring and daring. And there were 4 different quadrants in the quiz. So you were either going to be low caring and low daring, or high caring and high daring, or you were going to be high caring and low daring, which means you were really empathetic and you were really great at relationships, but you weren't very brave. You didn't make a lot of bold moves in your business. You didn't try things that people didn't do. And then the other one was low caring, high daring. And that's the quadrant I ended up in. Low caring and high daring. And I was almost embarrassed and sad. And I remember that day so vividly. It was probably 3 or 4 leaderships ago. And I still remember exactly how I felt in that moment. And I was disappointed in myself that, you know, because I had to be honest and real with myself. And I learned that I really was this low caring, high daring individual. I am a balls to the wall kind of girl. Like, I will go for anything. Like, I'm not afraid. Like, I will try new things. I will work to the bone. Like, but I built no relationships in the meantime. And my business had nothing to do with relationships. So after that leadership, I really saw the light, and I challenged myself to get out of that low caring quadrant, because that really broke my heart. I didn't want to be that kind of person. But then I also learned that by building relationships, I can end up growing my business and get what I want out of my business. But I also have this beautiful bonus of the relationships. So since that leadership, I left that leadership really challenged by myself, and also challenged by a superstar director who's a great mentor and friend of mine. Her name is Sherry Gibson. She challenged me to let my team see the real me. She challenged me to build relationships with them, to connect with them, to let them see who I really was, to not put on a front, to not always be happy and perky, and to let them see the real me day in, day out, and get to know me as a person, not just me as a director. And since that day, since that time, since that change happened, my business has grown leaps and bounds. I feel like I have grown as a person, you know, and I couldn't have made those connections like just for the sole purpose of growing my business. If I had done that, what happens is people aren't stupid, and they see right through you, and they know it's disingenuine. They know if you're trying to build a relationship so that you can benefit something. Okay, so I had to really take a look at my heart and my life and say, who am I? Is this who I want to be? And the answer was no. And who I really wanted to be is someone who cares about other people genuinely. I wanted to be someone who gives generously when people are in need. I wanted to be someone that people could come to when they needed help, or encouragement, or someone to cry with, or someone to pray for them. Like, I wanted to be that person. That's who I wanted to be. And by becoming that person, it's made me a better leader. And it's built my business for me. So it's crazy because my whole life and business and mindset has completely flipped. And now I don't look at it as I build relationships so my business will grow. I look at it as I'm just in the relationship business. The fact that my business grows is the bonus. It's not the relationships that are the bonus. The relationships are the meat and potatoes. My business, that's just the bonus at this point. And so when you genuinely connect with your downline, and here's some practical ways you can do that, okay? You want to start with your front line, obviously. That's really important. But this really cool principle that Sensi teaches us is to spend 80% of your time with the top 20% of performers in your downline. So what that means is you identify the people who are working. So not just the people who tell you they want it, but the people who actually are proving that they're working. So people who tell you they want it and who are actually working, you identify them and you spend 80% of your time with them. You get to know them. You find out what their likes and dislikes are, what their hobbies are, where their kids go to school, what's important to them. And you start to build a genuine relationship that has nothing to do with Sensi. You become their bestie. You become the person that they text when something's exciting. You become a great friend of theirs. You build that relationship, get to know them. You can send them personal cards, just like these other girls talked about with like recognition and prizes. You can send them handwritten notes. You can send them prizes. And through that relationship, you can find out what their love language is, just like Kristen Ingalls. I know Kristen Ingalls loves gifts through our relationship. She didn't tell me I like gifts. That's something I learned about her through our relationship. So when you build relationships, genuinely connect with your downline, when you genuinely care about what's important to them, you will know their love language. They will feel loved by you, and they will in turn work harder. They will work longer. They will give more effort. They will give a crap, you know, because your relationship is on the line and it's not just their business. And at the end of the day, it's all of the connections that's really what matters. The connections, the people. And it took me a long time to really see that. And some of you may not identify with me at all, and that's totally fine. But that's my story, and that's me. It took me a long time to really understand that. And I feel like I was probably in business for 4 years before I understood that. And I only wish that I had known all of that sooner, and I had seen all of that sooner. I can't imagine what we could have accomplished had I gotten my crap together in the beginning. So anyway, if there's anything you take out of this, like just genuinely connecting with your downline, like get to know them, love them. And this is something I teach my downline too. When I say love, that doesn't mean you have to be mushy gushy. That doesn't mean you have to be huggy, kissy, squishy. Oh, we're besties. My dad taught me from a very young age that this is what love means. Love means that you desire the greatest good for someone, even if it costs you something. So when I tell my downline I love them, when I tell my team I love them, that's what I mean. I mean, I desire the greatest good for you. And sometimes the greatest good is not me sugarcoating things. Sometimes the greatest good is me telling you the hard stuff. But also sometimes the greatest good is me coming alongside you and hugging you and letting you cry on my shoulder. Sometimes that's the greatest good. So love your team, love your downline, desire the greatest good for them, and in turn, your business will flourish. That's just the bonus. That's all I have to say. Who's next? Chloe, unless there's questions. I didn't really look and see if there were questions for me. But I think Chloe's up next.
Okay, I had to unmute myself. Okay. Is there any questions for Jen? I wanted to go back to the Wax Slinger page. Hers is really straightforward. She's a straightforward kind of gal, though, so y'all probably have no questions.
Oh, okay. Colleen has a question. She says, what do you do with recruits that are not interested in engaging or building a relationship or making any effort? This is a very real struggle that we all have. All you Wax Slingers leaders, raise your hand if you've had someone who doesn't want to engage with you. Right? So first of all, you're normal. You're not alone. We all have that struggle. When that happens, you have done your part by reaching out. You have done your part by trying. And if someone's not willing to give the other half, there's literally nothing else you can do. So don't waste any more energy on it. Don't get upset about it. And don't take it personally. You cannot take it personally. Do not think anything is wrong with you or that you were a bad leader or you did something wrong. You just have to understand and move on, you know? So in my opinion, all you do is you are there for that person if they need you. Okay, so if they come to you and have a question, you're there for them, but you no longer chase them and you no longer go after them. It's that 80-20 principle. If they're not willing to engage with you, then that means they're not in your top 20%, so you don't devote that much time to them. You're always there for them if they need something. You never cut someone out, and you never, ever push someone to the side, ever. But you only focus on the ones who are working and the ones who are giving and the ones who are willing, okay? Hope that answers your question. All right, Chloe, you're up.
Okay, can you guys hear me? It's perfect timing because my husband just left, literally. So, good. All right, so week 4, so we are talking about creating our culture, which I know that Kristen kind of like skimmed on a little bit in the beginning, but I wanted to make sure you guys understood that what each of us are talking about is creating a culture to help you be the best you that you can be, not just for yourself, but creating a culture that is going to be a culture that is going to literally reign success of what do you want Cincy to mean to your culture? What do you want people to think when they think of you as the leader of whatever your team name is or whatever you want it to be? What do you want them to think? And so when I thought about what I wanted to talk about, it was really simple because I heard something from an amazing leader. Her name is Christina Stainbrook, and she talked about a few years ago in a training I watched on YouTube when I was basically training myself on, what do you want your team to be? And she talked about saying, this is what we do. And I was like, I'm confused. And so I listened to the rest of the training, and she talked about, that with her team, she used to just kind of be like, yeah, here's the link to reunion. Here's the link to world tour. Here is, the info on this or that. And really, she wasn't getting a good response. And what she learned is that she wasn't creating a culture of, this is what we do. Anchored Sense does this. Radiant Rockstars does this. Wickless Luster does this. And so what I really decided whenever I was kind of going through just what I wanted to really create within my team, and I really started this structure about a year ago, is this is what we do. And so I made an acronym, because that's just how I am, of what do you want your team culture to scream? And so I went through each letter. So S, Cincy Spirit. What do you want Cincy Spirit to mean to your team? When you are posting on your team page, or you are, creating your focuses or your challenges or whatever it is you do, what spirit are you feeding life into within your team and within your group and within your leadership page or whatever you have? You want it to be, what is Cincy? Cincy is simple. It's authentic. It's generous. That is what our CEOs are. So really think about that as a leader when you're thinking about, this is what we do. I always think whenever I'm posting on my team page, like, this is the culture I want to create. Our vibe attracts, our vibe attracts our tribe. That's right. So whatever vibe you're putting off to your team is exactly what's going to be reciprocated. So, for example, and I've been guilty of this, if you're not going to have team meetings, do you expect your entire team to come to your first meeting you decide to have after you're a leader for 8-9 months? No, it takes time. When you're consistent and you do those things and you're creating that Cincy spirit, they're going to want to come to your team meetings because it's fun, it's engaging, it's just what you do, right? We do team meetings. And so that's one thing that's really on my agenda for this fall, actually tonight after this call, is to post what my team meetings are for the rest of the fall season. I want them to know I'm serious. I want them to know that, these are the team meeting times we have. I'm so excited for you to come. This is what we do. And I want them to see that because it really just creates that trickle effect of leadership. So C is cans. You can do this. One of my biggest pet peeves on my team is when they say, I hope or I wish. That's not a game plan. Hope is not a game plan. A dream is not a game plan. I can, I will, when is a game plan. You will do it. You can do it. But when will I do it? That's really a game plan that you need to set for the culture of your team. Because if you create that culture of, well, I wish I could do it. Well, I don't know. I'm too busy. What's going to happen is they're going to trickle that down to their downline. And it's not going to be, let's nip this right now. You can. Let's figure out what you're doing every day to work your business, right? Let's figure out what's happening. So R, I put running leaders. Us as leaders need to be running every day. We need to know the way. We need to show the way. We need to go the way. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care what's going on in your life. It's just this business is going to succeed the more that you put effort into it. And when you are struggling, that is when you as a leader go to your person. That's why you need to have your tribe, right? Your people that you can go to when you're struggling. Your team, my dad talked about this. He did a meeting last week and he talked about that. You need to be like a duck underwater, right? So the duck is above the water and he looks cool, right? Like he's swimming, everything is good. But underwater, his feet could be like this. He's freaking out. You don't know what's going on under the water, right? So your team needs to see you. You need to be calm. You need to be collective. You need to come to your team and you need to represent what your team is. You need to know the way and you need to show it well. You need to show it like a boss. You don't need to show it like you don't know what you're doing. Even if you don't know what you're doing, you act like you know what you're doing to your team, right? Then you go to the people that are in your circle and you figure out questions you don't know. There are so many times I will ask questions to so many of my friends who are leaders that I literally do not know. And that's okay. But to your team, you need to think about what you're going to say and then react in a way that is going to present a calm, collective effort. That way, when they're leaders, they know how to do that. E stands for energy. You need to bring the energy to your team. When you're on your team page or you're training or you're doing whatever you're doing to really pump up your team, do it in a way that they are like excited, like they are ready to seize the day. When you're training people, try and do it right when you wake up, right when you have the most energy, so you can give them your best. You don't want to give them good. You want to give them your best. Your front line, for example, when you're training them is what I'm talking about specifically. Train your front line like Kristen talked about. Give them the best that you have. You don't want to just give them, tagging them on the team page for whatever you're going to tag them in. That's great, but you want to give them your best. A stands for accountability, and I think this is one of the most important things. And so I have a leadership page for my leaders that are starting above, and I know specifically that Kristen and Jen have one as well. And, we create that accountability. We can't do everything for them. That's life. We just can't. I wish I could. I know they wish they could, but we can't. So the coolest thing about accountability is that they link to people that can keep them accountable, that can hold them accountable. And so that's what you guys need to do. Find somebody that can hold you accountable. Find somebody that is on the same journey as you that can really kick you in the ass and be like, look, this is what you need to do. I love you and I have a relationship with you and I want you to succeed. Do this. I'm not going to make an excuse for you. So accountability is so important for you to grow. And the last thing, which is my favorite, which is like pretty much the only quality I have, I feel like, is motivation. So motivation is so important when you are leading a team. A lot of times I feel like I don't know like technical stuff. I'm not the best at like reading. I don't read a lot. And so I don't like to go in the news tab and do all this stuff. And so sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get on like before I go to the gym or whatever. And I'm going to give them just some life. I'm going to just fill them with some life because like Jen said, there are people on your teams that need relationship. They need somebody to say, you know what? I know you're going to work today for 10 hours. I know you're a stay-at-home mom. I know that this sucks for you right now, but let me tell you what can happen, what Cincy can do for you. Let me feed some life into you. So motivate your team members, motivate them on your team page. Go live. Live is such a great feature. Go live, throw a quote up there. Really just give your team some life because you'll see that the more that you motivate them and you show the belief in them, it could tick that one thing that they need to really see that they've got it. So that is all I have for my little acronym. If no one has questions, I'm going to pass it on to Maggie. Are we good? No questions?
Okay, guys, I guess I am up. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about how leadership is servanthood. And this one is something that has really kind of come into play for me in my life just really in the last year or two. Because when I first started, a lot like Jen, I didn't understand the importance of building a team and teaching my team to build a team. It was all about me. All I wanted was to earn my trip and get my PRV and recruit people so that I could have numbers underneath me. I didn't understand the business aspect of things. I just didn't get it. And I wasn't serving my team well. I wasn't serving myself well, my family well, my customers well, because I wasn't giving my effort to the places that it should have been. So, when you first join, the business is about you. But the minute that you add someone to your team, you have to serve them well. You just do. It is not about you anymore. And sometimes that is something that kind of sucks. Sometimes you have to give up your customers when you add, a new team member to your team that's going to take some of your customers with them. Sometimes, like just this season, I've had 4 or 5 instances where an event called me that is, an hour away from me. And I have girls that are in that area of town that would love to have that event and love to find customers that are close to them. And my family would love to have me here with them watching their baseball games and being present here and serving my local customers well. So you know what? I decided to give that event to my team member rather than keeping it for myself because that's not going to serve, I'm not going to serve those customers well. I'm not going to serve my team members well by trying to take those customers that are local to them that I can't even do any justice to. They're going to have to pay shipping. I'm not going to drive an hour to deliver their products to them. But my local girls, they can form relationships with them. They can serve those customers well. And so at some point in your business, it becomes not about you anymore. It becomes about your team. It becomes about your family. It becomes about your customers. And it's really easy to get caught up in the PRV game. It's really easy to, because you think that's where you think your dollar signs come from, is the PRV. Oh, I need to have 2,000 PRV or 5,000 PRV or whatever. But it's just not worth it. It is not worth busting your butt to have thousands and thousands and thousands of PRV when you could be serving so many other aspects of your life well, and you'll be able to make that up. Like when you serve your team well, you'll make up the money that you would make in your PRV if that's really what you're worried about is money. You'll be, like I just, about a year or two ago, I decided I wasn't going to do long events anymore because it was taking time away from my family, and I'm a stay-at-home mom for a reason. And I want to be home with my kids, and I want us to be able to go to my kids' baseball and football games as a family. So now the first thing I do when I set up my calendar, I write out my kids' sports schedule so that I don't have to miss any of that. And when someone wants to schedule a party, if they want to schedule it for an afternoon when we have a baseball game, I'm sorry, that date's just not going to work for me. I have to serve my children well because they're my number one priority. My family comes first. I guess it was not this last world tour, but the world tour before, Allison Dalkey spoke. And she, I just really relate to her very well. She is someone that just really inspires me. And she has a servant heart more than anybody I've ever met in my entire life. She just radiates servanthood. I mean, she is a foster parent. She really serves a ministry that she works with well. She, stays home with her children. She just serves the people around her well. And when I saw her speak, what she talked about was figuring out what it is that breaks your heart and letting that run your business, run your life, letting that be what fuels your flame rather than money or fame or recognition. And all those things are awesome. And we need that as something that we personally need. But we also have to be able to serve the other people around us well. And so for me, I was able to find, the teen mom ministry that I work with. That is what breaks my heart. I've been there. I relate to those girls. I'm a victim of sexual abuse. I get it. That is what breaks my heart. And so I have dedicated a big chunk of my life to serving the teen moms in my area. And it takes up a lot of my time, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Last night, I'm in a Bible study right now, and I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't, because I was like, you know what? It's an hour and a half on Tuesday mornings. My kids are in school. That's time when I have to work. I need to be home cleaning the house. But I needed to serve myself well. And I needed to serve Jesus well, because that is important to me. That's what feeds life into me and into my family. But I need to do this. I need to do this for me. I need to do this for my family, because when I can serve me, then I can serve others. You have to serve yourself first. And so I needed to take care of my heart before I could take care of everything else that was going on. So you know what? The dishwasher can wait. Laundry can wait. I'll do it later. So I said yes to this Bible study, and it has fed more life into me these last few weeks than anything that I've been a part of in a long time. And even last night, we had practices, and, I have a teen mom that lives with me, and she had work, and I was like, you know what? I'll Uber her home from work. I will, I'll have Scott take the boys to practice. I needed to go to this. We called it our field trip. We were going to listen to the author of the book that we're reading. And let me just tell you, I have never been so wrecked as I was sitting there listening to her speak, because it just, I feel like I look at my plate, and I know that all these other leaders can relate to me. I feel like I look at my plate and how full it is. And I'm like, okay, something's got to go. I can't keep saying yes to all these things. I need to, be doing less of this for my business, or more of this for my family, or more of this to my business and less for my family, whatever. But you know what? All of those things are on my plate for a reason. And I have enough in me to be able to do all of those things well. And worrying about it's not going to get me anywhere. It doesn't serve any of those parts of my life well to worry about it. I just have to just do what I can. And so part of being a leader is serving others, but you also have to serve yourself. And so if there's something that you're missing, If you're working hard and your PRV is awesome and your team's growing, but you're missing something inside of you, you need to figure out what it is that you can do to serve yourself. You know, if you look at any leader in any aspect of the world, whether they're a motivational speaker, whether they're a movie star or an artist, they have something attached to them that they believe in. They donate to cancer or hunger or, you know, animal stuff, whatever it is that they feel like they can relate to, they serve that organization. And so I just want to encourage you guys, figure out what it is that speaks to you and maybe let your business lead you in that way. You know, like a lot of the money that I make every month is able to go to, you know, my teen moms and their babies in my area. I work from home, so I am able to take them to their appointments. Like, let your business allow you to have time to serve yourself and to serve others. It's not just about your business all the time, because we as leaders, we have to pave the way, and not just in our business. And everything else, like Jen said, will come later. It just does. I think Chloe's an awesome example of this too. She serves so many people really well, and her business is booming. But, you know, like it kind of all connects, but it doesn't at the same time. You know what I mean? Like you have to serve yourself. You have to just make an order. Serve your family and yourself and your team and everybody in whatever order you can do. And you know what? You'll have enough to do it all. And it's okay if some days you just feel overwhelmed. Some days you have to serve yourself. Some days I have to sit on the couch and drink Coke all day long and, you know, eat hummus with a spoon, which is what happens. Sometimes that's just what happens. And then some days I'm in the car all day long, driving girls to appointments or watching their babies while they work. And then some days I'm running around watching my kids do games. And some days I'm at two or three different things for my business. We have enough to be able to serve everybody well. And so sometimes you just have to take a step back and serve yourself so that you can serve others. So I hope that I even like covered the topic that I was supposed to. I didn't really know what I was going to say. I'm kind of a wing it kind of girl. But so our weekly focus for the week, this is our last week. Next week, we'll do like a Q&A kind of thing. We're kind of still working out how we're going to do that. But our weekly focus, so we have two different focuses. We have one for your team and one for you personally. So like I said, you need to serve yourself so that you can serve your team well. So the personal, we're going to just say, consider writing a story of what your future life is going to look like. Just sit down for a few minutes and just write out every detail, where you're going to live, what dream is in your heart that you want to make come to life. Speak life into that. Write everything down. Write down what your house will look like. Write down, if you don't have children yet, write down what that you'll have children. Write down, what your vacations will look like. Write down how you'll be serving well in your community. Just write everything down. Write what you think your life will look like or what you want your life to look like in 10 years, 5 years, whatever it is. Write it down and then just put it away. Just see. And then about a year or two, go back and look at it again. I actually did this at, I think it was boot camp. Was it boot camp or leadership? I don't remember. One of the two. We actually sat down and wrote what our life would look like in a year, what we wanted our life to be like. And then we gave it back to home office and they mailed it to us and it came in about a year. And I remember getting it. I actually have a picture of it somewhere on my Instagram. And when I got it, like all of those things had come true. We had bought our new house. I had my baby. I was serving the ministry that was, so close to my heart. All those things had come true because I spoke them and made them come true. And so I just think it's really important to sit down and think about what is important to you personally and what you want your life to look like and just write it down. Because when you write it down, it happens. It's like one of those goal things. If you write it down, then you'll make sure that it happens. And then for your team, if you haven't already done that, start doing monthly webinars or team meetings, and go live like Chloe said. I've started going live a lot more after seeing Chloe going live on her page. And so I just think it's important to form those relationships with the people on your team. Reading someone's words on a status is not the same as hearing it come from them. They don't know your heart behind your words unless they can hear you. And then they'll start to hear you speaking the things that you do have to write on the page instead of saying all the time. And so start doing monthly things with your team. Start connecting with them, whether it's, a Google chat like this, or going live, or an actual in-person team meeting, like a coffee date, anything like that. So just kind of start really creating the culture that you want to be in your team. And then, like I said before, just start serving yourself well so that you can serve others well too. So that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions? Were there questions on the page? No? No questions? Are we good to go then?
We're good to go.
Okay.
It's been a good 4 weeks, guys. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this time. I know all of us have been super blessed by all of you guys and just feel really privileged to be doing this with you. So any last words?
I don't know. I'm just grateful to be a part of it. I think this is awesome.
Same. You guys can if you want.
My peeps.
And Jen, we have had, okay, so Jen had someone to promote to director, right? In her group.
Yeah.
And I've had a few superstars. So hopefully this has been like effective. Anytime we, well, I'm talking about myself, I'm speaking for them. Anytime we do something like this, it needs to be effective. This isn't about us, it's about you. So we want to know, next week we'll be asking, I'm sure, like feedback on was this effective? What did you like? What didn't you like? So, this is all about you guys, raising leaders, raising you guys up, and helping you be the best you can be so you can realize your potential. So I've seen a lot of good, but hopefully you guys see good in it.
Yeah, and we still have a whole nother, this is still week 4, so we still have a whole nother, week to finish out. So maybe it'll be some more directors or superstar consultants or star consultants getting promoted through Wax Slinger's Guide to Leadership. So if you get promoted, let us know, shout it out. And, we want to celebrate with you that, like Chloe said, this is for you. It's exactly what this is for, so that you can be the best version of you. So, and another thing we really hope to help you create is a sense of a tribe. The 6 of us that you see, we're a tribe. And what that means is we all have, and I think you see in every week, like, we're all totally different, but we all have a common bond. We all have a great love for each other, as in we desire the greatest good. I think we all understand each other, and we're all working towards the same goals, of being successful, building relationships, helping people change their lives. That's what we're all doing together. So we hope that through Wax Slinger's Guide to Leadership that you have found some of your own tribe, that you have found people that are different from you, that can sharpen you and make you better, but also people that, understand you and have the same drive and goals and things like that in mind. So we encourage you to reach out to each other, find your tribe. All right, we love you. Bye.
Love y'all. Night.